and just make a few statements or whatever case may be. Here's the reason why I feel like nothing's going to happen or matter when it comes to talking about the gay community or the actions of individuals of the gay community. I don't think anything's going to happen. I think it don't matter if we talk about Lil Nas X. It don't matter if we talk about men in dresses. It don't matter about, when you Google this or you look up this in YouTube, you're going to see, gay paraphernalia. I don't think any of that matters. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the gay community is united. The gay community collectively is united. And I think that when you have an issue, especially as a black man or a black woman, or you're of this community, I think the issue is that we don't do a good job at promoting a united front. We don't do a good job at being together. We don't do a good job at standing one. I think a lot of times, especially in the black community, I think two major things happen in a black community. One, I think we're very reactive. Not proactive. I think we're very reactive to things. And I also think that we also go with the status quo. Whoever's the most popular, whoever's the loudest, or celebrity status, that's what everybody now says, okay, I feel like them. And at the end of the day, we have too much division. We have division amongst men, we have division amongst women, we have division amongst community. And the issue is that, the issue is that I see is that we not built to handle the gay community. We're not built to combat it. We're not built to say, I see everybody's doing a great job at kind of breaking down and even analyzing, what it does to the psyche of our children and how it's, the mass media and the programming, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, for some reason, I was listening to this podcast, and for some reason, they did a great job at saying how the straight community is just not ready to handle the gay community because we're not together. We're not together. There are so many videos of men disliking men disliking women, women disliking women, women disliking men, and those are the priority. That's what's popular. That's what we call now entertainment. And the fact of the matter is, it's like some people, they try to branch out and say, oh, is that the gay community over there? Well, I got something to say about the gay community. And it's like your words fall on deaf ears, because I'm gonna be honest with you, those people of the gay community look at you and say, your community's jacked up. Can you imagine? Your community is filled with roaches and rats and pests and all types of crap, right? But you're pointing at somebody else's community, telling them that their community is jacked up. That's how I feel about the situation. I feel like there's a lot of people saying, well, let's talk about the gay community and their actions, but are we holding the actions of our community, are we holding them responsible? Are we talking about the things that we can actually change? And my thought process is gay out but ratchets in? Let me say that again for the people that missed what I just said. Is gay out and ratchet in? Because the same energy that we're putting into the abolishment of gay activity and actions on social media and how it's affecting our children and the psyche of our children, because it's all about this narrative of we must protect our children. We must protect what they're seeing on TV. Well, the thought process is gay must be out and ratchet must be in. Where is the energy for all of this ratchet television? Where's the energy for the television shows that happen on a weekly basis that steadily programming our children as well? Where's that energy at? I think that should be a part of the conversation. I think that should be a push, just like we're pushing, talking about we don't want to see this. Well, why do we want to see that? Why are we letting that go? And I think that we have to do a better job, as leaders or as vocal people, to say, you know what, we don't want none of it. We don't want to see none of it. If we're canceling this, we should also cancel this. And there was somebody saying that, you know what, this is crazy, because I feel like it's an attack on a gay community, but you letting everything else slide. So of course I had to sit back and say, man, what are you talking about? What do you mean if we letting everything? We ain't letting nothing slide. It's zero tolerance. Well, how come they haven't canceled Atlanta Housewives? Love and Hip Hop. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And the question kept on coming out. Well, do you think that promotes black women and black men and black relationships in a black community in a good light? I said, no, I don't think that. So why hasn't it been canceled? Why hasn't it been canceled? Where's the energy for that? Where's the energy and the analytics for saying, well, this affects our children just like what Lil Nas X is doing, just like what Russell Westbrook doing with the dress. Not only does that affect our community and our young people, but this affects our community and young people. And I said, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So let me be the first to kind of bridge the gap on what people say we're not doing and what people saying that we should do. If you are a person, you feel that something is wrong and something is going to affect, our children, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I applaud your effort to speak out. I definitely applaud your effort to speak out. But I notice that a lot of people that are speaking out, the energy for other things is not there. You see what I'm saying? Well, we're not going to touch ratchet television. We're not going to touch black on black crime. We're not going to touch police brutality. We're going to go at things that we consider to be easy targets where a lot of people should disagree with. That's a lot of conversation about heterosexual people and what they don't want to see and how they want their children to be raised, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And my thought process, especially when this statement arose, you don't want to see gay people doing gay shit, but you would rather have ratchet television exist and not say anything about that. Does that not affect your children as well? It does. It does. Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. I say it should be a zero tolerance for anything that affects our children in a negative manner, or in a negative fashion, or our communities in a negative manner, in a negative fashion. I know a lot of people who can sit down and have a conversation, articulate themselves very well, have education, have financial stability, know about love languages, know about positive communication. But a lot of times on Love and Hip Hop, you don't get that. You have women showcasing the most ratchet behavior, but for some reason that's entertainment and that still exists. But we want to band together and say what we don't want Lil Nas X to do, which is crazy. And I think that we need to do a better job at saying, you know what, if we feel that Lil Nas X is a problem, if we feel like men wearing dresses is a problem, then we should say, okay, well, what are the other problems that we also need to include with this? Because when we say there's a zero tolerance, the issue is that you have Lil Nas X that can point back and say, well, you worried about me, but you're not worried about all of this ratchet stuff that's going on. You're not worried about this ratchet stuff that you see on a daily basis that affecting your girls, telling your girls it's okay to twerk in public places, on tables and stuff like that. It's okay for men to say, okay, well, if I mess up, I just give her a bag. I don't know. What y'all think? What y'all think? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments or whatever case may be. I just thought it would be reasonable and I thought it would be fair if we're going to have this conversation about Lil Nas X and heterosexuals and what we don't want to see and how men's supposed to act, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, we should be fair and impartial and say, you know what, this ratchet TV that we see on television, that got to go too. That got to go too. We can't just say, okay, well, everybody look at Lil Nas X and what they're doing and totally overlook everything else. Doggy, I appreciate that. He says, I see what you're saying. I just think it's fair. We should be fair and impartial across the board. Don't get me wrong. I think Lil Nas X pretending to be pregnant, I think it does send the wrong idea, especially to young boys. Well, not just young boys, but children in general, regardless of whatever race you are, right? I think it sends a altered message and reality to children that you're now going to have to explain. Why does this young man have to do this? Why is he doing this? When you have the Russell Westbrooks and the other Kid Cudi and everybody wearing dresses talking about it's fashion, you have to explain to your children that this is not natural, but this is something that they're doing. So I understand that it will become uncomfortable for a lot of parents and say, you know, I don't even want to go down that lane. I understand that, or whatever case to be. But my thought is, the same way that you don't want to see that and the same energy that you put into being vocal about that, I think that you should also put that same energy and be vocal about all of the ratchet behavior and the things that promote ratchet behavior. Because those reality TV shows, whether you know it or not, they don't put black people in a good light. They don't put black people in a good light. And it's like anything for a dollar. The same way we talk about, well, who paid you? Russell Westbrook, who paid you to wear that dress? Well, my thing about it is the same way he said, you know what, man, yeah, I know wearing this dress, you know what I'm saying, I shouldn't be doing it, but the bag, the money. The same way for that ratchet television. Oh, I know I shouldn't be smacking the hell out of her, but the money. Where aren't both of them equally bad? Aren't both of them messing with the psyche of our children? I think both of them are doing the same thing. It's altering our children's natural state, their natural development. That's not how people are supposed to act. That's not how people are supposed to act. Can you imagine being with a woman who act like that? Can you imagine being with a man who act like that on a daily basis? Do you realize how toxic that? But the issue is, those things are affecting our communities on a regular basis. People think like that. People act like that. Salute to Cali in the building. People act like that. They think that this behavior is acceptable, this is cool, or whatever case be. But I see all of these people, Lil Nas X gotta go, cancel his ass, get him out of here. And I'm like, okay, I feel your energy, I got you, whatever. And again, I'm just waiting for the rest of the conversation, and it's like, so I'm waiting to hear, yeah, and not only that, this too, goddamn, like we on this, we got this whole checklist of things we don't want affecting our kids. We got this whole checklist of things that we want to promote positive for our communities. And I'm saying, so love and hip hop represents black women, represents black men, represents black community, represents how you're supposed to communicate with people. What's the biggest threat? Is it Lil Nas X or is it ratchet television? That's the real question. What's the biggest threat? What's the biggest threat? Lil Nas X pretending to be pregnant, right? Probably not gonna get him thrown in jail. Acting ratchet and hood, probably gonna get you thrown in jail. Probably gonna get you in a fight somewhere. Probably gonna get you shot at or shot up. Probably gonna get you smacked, probably gonna get you punched, probably gonna get a drink thrown in your face. Are we getting the point? Are we getting the point? Because we're saying that Lil Nas X is a menace to society. Him wearing a dress, he is a menace to society. But we totally overlook, yeah, those two girls just got to fighting for no reason when it was in a civil conversation, but right in the middle of the restaurant, she threw the glass, she threw a butter knife, she took off a shoe, she snatched off a wig, they about to get lit. We totally ignore that. Nope. I see some people go to the extent like, hey, let's just talk about white people. Yeah, white people, white people, white people. And I'll be scratching my head, you know what I'm saying? Some people went as far as to say, you know what, we waiting for reparations. Give me my money. And I'll be scratching my head sometimes because I'll be just like, let me ask y'all a question. People get tax returns, most people get tax returns every year. PPP loan, child tax credit loan, right? On top of the tax returns. People are given these bulks of money. Right? And I'm not saying it's life-changing money. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying you do nothing with the money that you receive. You don't invest it. You ain't paying off your bills. You ain't doing anything that's going to help create some type of generational wealth. Here's the issue. I see your comment. I'm going to get to it in a second. Here's the issue. The issue is, imagine getting reparations and giving it to people who are not used to having that type of money. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Imagine getting reparations and giving it to somebody and say, here's $750,000. How many parties getting thrown the same night? How many rims we buying? How much weed we buying? How much alcohol we buying? How many hotel rooms we buying? How many mansions we buying? How many cars we buying? How many boats we buying? How much shoes we're buying? How much hair we buying? How much makeup we buying? How much nails we're buying? Now, not everybody gonna do that, but you got to think about it. It's like me personally, Lil Nas X, what he's doing is very concerning. Men wearing dresses is very concerning. But my thought process is reparations, ratchet television, black on black crime, systematic racism, fathers being in the home, credit, investing, traveling, love languages, communication skills. There are so many mental health. There are so many things that there should be a focus on, but what we're focusing on is Lil Nas X stomach, him wearing a dress. And I get it, we need to address it. Once it's addressed, what else are we supposed to do? I don't think the black community, I don't think the white community, I don't think no community is going to cancel the gay community, because not only is the gay community a melting pot and composed of a lot of nationalities and races and genders, but they're together. They're a united front. They're a united front. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. The black community has been taking L's the last decade in regards to leadership, in regards to having leaders that don't have this stench about them, or this crippling history about them, or coming out and you touching kids and you doing this and you doing that. And I mean, everything from our artists to our celebrities, athletes, et cetera, politicians, et cetera. Every time we put a leader in front of us, for some reason they fall, they run amok, they try to lead us astray. We need new leaders. We need new activists. We need new people to stand in the front and say, I am he, I am she. Let's get this thing together. Let's actually have solutions. It's a lot of hate. It's a lot of hate. Let's get to some of these comments. Meaty says, no one would think about much land, property, and investment to invest in financial literacy was never taught to us as a whole. Look at these smart people up in the comments. Financial literacy. Everybody's screaming about reparations and demanding what America owes us, et cetera. And as soon as they get their money, ain't gonna do anything to promote generational wealth. Ain't gonna do anything. You know what's so crazy? People are gonna do more to put themselves in debt than take themselves out of debt. You're gonna go buy a mansion and not think about what it costs to actually run that mansion, and your money is going to be gone, because now that you got the mansion, you got to have a lot of your fake friends come over. Them people that you know don't really like you, but now you got them in your home or whatever case it be. Now, hold on. They can't just come to no empty mansion now. Now you got to have the cars to go with the mansion. Now you got to have the furniture to go with. Now we got to pop bottles. We got to have the finest of the finest. And you know we got to get some big screen TVs. You know we got to get some big screen TV. It's cable in every room in this mother. You know we got to get a pool, right? You can't swim, but you're going to go get a pool. And before you know it, your money's gone like this. And you have nothing to show for it, except foreclosures and bankruptcy. Yeah, Lil Nas X is definitely a concern, but I don't think he's the biggest problem. So when I see, Reggie, what's up? When I see a lot of people focusing on, it's like, comment after comment after comment after comment after comment. Lil Nas X stomach, Lil Nas X stomach, Lil Nas. Like, that's like a whole series of how we need to cancel Lil Nas X. And I'm just like, what else should we be canceling? What else should we have a zero tolerance for? What else should be a part of the conversation? What else should we be building? What else should we provide solutions for? And it's like, for some reason, the people, it's like they're mesmerized at some of these conversations. And to me, I don't know what the like how you're mesmerized, but you're like this, like, this is so amazing. Wow. You've talked about Lil Nas X for the last 6 months. Huh? And then we talk about financial literacy. HB2 says Lil Nas X is a deflection and a distraction. Lil Nas X is living his best life. Lil Nas X knows that whatever he does is off the wall, outlandish. Forget being a distraction. He's going to be relevant. And this is the thing, that what happens with distractions or whatever case to be. You know, it's almost like dealing with a troll. How long you gonna let that troll deter you from doing what it is that you say you're gonna do? How long you gonna let that troll steal the show? Lil Nas X is stealing the conversation. It's been more videos made about his stomach from heterosexual men than heterosexual men telling you about financial literacy. Uncle Stu, he says, as long as we talk about him, then he is renting space in our community. Definitely. Not only renting space, he's buying property. He's buying property. As long as you have heterosexual strong men, it's a lot of men that's hitting their chest and they screaming, I'm a real man. I'm a real man. Let me open up the sunroof on these mother. This is what real men do. I'm a real man. Like I see a lot of these PSA, like public service announcements about what a real man is. And my thought process is, when you have the microphone, you want the stage, you want your 5 minutes, and you get the microphone, and now all the people are sitting back and they're waiting for you to say something prolific, and you say, let's talk about Lil Nas X stomach. Let's talk about a dress. And it's like, okay, wait, okay, cool. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So then now that you've talked about it, now you're waiting for the rest of the solutions. You're waiting for the rest of the conversation to happen. But you never get to the rest of the conversation. You never get to the solutions. And I see a lot of people talk about protecting our children, protecting, the black community, protecting our women. And it sounds good. It reads well. It flows well. Right? It sounds good. People even get passionate about it. Like they sit in the mirror and they got their facial expressions right. They got their hand gestures right. And now they come and they present this narrative of, I'm a real man. In my thought process, real men don't have to say it. Genuine men don't have to say it. A lot of us are caught up in this mystical world of, you have to say you a real man. You got to say you an alpha man. You got to say you high value. No, you got to do that shit. You got to be that shit. You can't confuse your words up. You got to know what you're saying and know what you're doing. And the thought process is, we can't focus on Lil Nas X that long. We can address it. We can't focus on men wearing a dress. We can address it. After we address it, what's the real conversation? What's the rest of it? That's what our women should be asking us. That's what our children should be asking us. That's what real men should be asking us. What's the next conversation? Doggy says, if you're handling your business, other people will acknowledge your actions for you. You don't even have to speak it. Look at these smart people. Man, salute to y'all. Salute to y'all. When you're doing it, it shows. In the military, I'm gonna tell you right now, you always knew when a person was a leader. It was something about them. It was something about how they spoke, how they carried themselves. They talked with a certain level of authority. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There's a lot of men who don't speak with that authority, who don't speak with that confidence. They're unsure of themselves. Whether they're in the car, they in the house, they outside just walking. It's like, I'm all down in the seat. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing with this. I'm playing with my hands. They're not confident. You see what I'm saying? So when you have somebody that comes to you and say, look, let's change the narrative. Let's stop bashing black women. Let's stop bashing black men. Let's stop bashing the gay community. Let's stop bashing the black community. Let's stop bashing people in general and start building. I hear a lot of people talking about, yeah, let's build, but ain't building shit. And I'm not talking about going out, look, have somebody, hey, look at me give water to somebody. Look at me give a jacket to somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, I do a whole lot of stuff in my community, and the thought process of, you know what I never think about doing? Going live. I never think about doing that. You know what I'm saying? When I'm dealing with the homeless or I'm dealing with at a shelter, I never, for some reason, hey, hold on for a minute, y'all. We go live real quick. Hey, look, I'm doing something in my community. Look at me. Look at me. I never thought, when we was getting ready to go to Iraq, you understand what I'm saying? People leaving their families, their children just got born, their mama just died, they this and they that. Nobody was going live on the airplane. Look at us, y'all. We going to Iraq. Woo! Some things that are important, you don't have to show everybody you doing it. You just do it. You just do it. And we've gotten so caught up in this whole social, you talked about salute to spitting fire, but we talk about this mass media programming. Bro, let me tell you something. It ain't just mass media. It's anybody with a platform now. Anybody with a platform with a few people to listen to them, they want you to showcase, well, when I say it, you gotta do it. I don't want you to think for yourself. I want me to tell you how to think. I want you to just listen to me. My thought process is this. The reason why it's difficult to challenge people, to hold people accountable, to say, let's change the narrative, let's actually build. Because the thought process is, if I don't like somebody that you like, for some reason, my message is null and void. Now, my message could have been on point every other time. For some reason, if there's a disagreement between you, me and somebody else that you like, it's like you're forced to pick sides. Me personally, I don't want you to pick a side. I don't want you to pick a side. I want you to decide for yourself. Sit down, listen to the message and say, does this resonate with me? Is what you saying make sense? I don't want you to pick people. I don't want you to change narratives. I don't want you to block. I don't want you to bash. I don't want you to thumbs down. I don't want you to discredit. I don't want you to do none of that. I want you to think for yourself. It's great that we've addressed Nas X. Lil Nas X. It's great that we've talked about it. It's great that we've analyzed it, looked at it, and we said we want our kids to grow up in a natural environment with a natural mind state, and we don't want to alter that. I think every heterosexual man, woman, or community can say, yep, we want our children to grow up unharmed, untainted. We don't want them to be subjected to, things like that. We don't want them to be touched by men or women. We don't want them to be violated. We want them to stay innocent. We want them to grow up naturally. I think a lot of people can agree with that. I think we've had that conversation and we've done a great job at that. But what happens if tomorrow we get reparations? Here go your $750,000. Here you go. Have we done a good job at talking about that? What we should do? Have we done a good job at presenting that argument? Have we done a good job at saying, you know what, maybe we should stop black on black crime. Maybe we should address the gang violence. Maybe we should talk to the drug dealers. Maybe we should talk to the people that are abusers in our community. Have we done a good job? What y'all think? What y'all think? Because there's no way that men say they have positive messages can't work together. No way. Not if you're positive. Not if you're positive. Doggy says, if we had the conversation, that will kill the rap game. Find a new profession. Find a new profession. We stop amplifying toting guns and shooting people because of the color, because whatever colors they're wearing or whatever set they from, or we stop womanizing, talking about it's a hot girl summer and you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna sleep with him for some money, then I'm gonna go sleep with his friend for some money too. Is Lil Nas X the problem? Is Lil Nas X the problem? Lil Nas X comes back to y'all and say, hey, I'm sorry for what I said on the Breakfast Club. I give y'all this public apology. And I'm gonna stop doing all, the pregnancy stuff. I'm gonna stop doing all of those antics. Right? I'm gonna stop doing all that. Does that change Meg Thee Stallion? Does that change Cardi B? Cardi B said, I don't want my daughter looking at what I'm doing. I don't want her listening to what I'm listening to, but I'll sell it to you and you're gonna buy it. Just saying. What responsibility do we have? What's the conversation? What is the real deal? What should we be looking at saying, you know what, man, maybe we need to do better. But I think we've got lazy. We've gotten lazy and we want people to hand deliver. You know what I'm saying? You want them to hand deliver the substance to you. Well, here you go. Yeah, this is entertainment. Yep, I know I'm bashing black women, but this entertainment. Come on now, eat it. I know I'm bashing black men. That's okay. Here, eat it. Here, drink a little of this F the black community. Drink up. You want smoke? Cause you know what this weed about, right? Hating white people. Come on. Yeah, woo, we hate them. Woo, they always keeping us down. And we call it entertainment. We donate to it. We hit the like and we share. We promote it. But we talk about it's the mass media's fault. No, it ain't just the mass media. Yeah, it's a lot of programming. It's a lot of things being promoted. But the fact of the matter is, we do a great job at condemning ourselves. We do an excellent job at condemning ourselves. Because when we hear a negative message, we promote it. You hear a positive message, we sit back and say, well, I'm here. I'm just looking. You know what they say, in the bushes and the clouds. I think we've done what we could do in regards to Lil Nas X, but I don't think that no heterosexual man or woman or no community of heterosexual men or women going to cancel any gay shit. You're not going to do a motherfucking thing until you pull your head out your ass and say, you know what? We got to do better. We so busy pointing at, oh, that community and that person and that person and this, but we don't police the shit we need to police in our own communities. Hell, we can't even police the shit that we listen to and call entertainment. You can't stop Lil Nas X. You can't stop gay shit from happening. You can't sit down and say, well, let's just sit down and talk about gay people today. Let's talk about what men should do. Let's talk about what women should do. What the black community, and the thought process is, it's great to talk about it, but when do we start promoting solutions for it? When do we change the narrative? The biggest contributor of teen suicide is non-acceptance. I agree with that. Reggie says Joe Biden will be the problem next. I think I'm gonna be honest with you when it comes to politics. You know, some people, salute to Ricky Manor. Ricky Manor, if you guys don't know who Ricky Manor is, he is definitely somebody that's very opinionated about politics. Go check him out, Ricky Manor. Check him out. I'll actually be on a panel with him tonight, so y'all check out Ricky Manor. He's very opinionated about politics or whatever. I'm not as opinionated. Like, I'm not pro-Trump and I'm not pro-Biden and I'm really not like that. But the fact of the matter is, if we had, how you guys have town hall meetings, most of you guys have town hall meetings, but you don't know about it. But can you imagine living in a community? Let's say a subdivision. Subdivision has about, let's say 50 houses. And you guys held a meeting at the local community center or whatever case may be. And somebody said, what are the top 10 things we should focus on to make our community successful? You know what I'm saying? Somebody might say, oh, well, we need to focus on making sure that our children getting great education. You know, oh, somebody else says, oh, we need to focus on making sure that our children can communicate. You know what I'm saying? If they have issues, how to communicate, why it's important to communicate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Somebody might also say, oh, well, we need to make sure that we have, you know, leadership. You know, somebody might say, oh, well, we need to make sure we got activities for our children. We need to we need to talk about investing and not just leaving your money in a savings account, and how to really put it and get property. Can you imagine that suburb and that community, how successful they would be? Can you imagine that? Somebody saying, yeah, man, you know, I just lost my job. You just lost your job? Hey, I got a friend. He's actually hiring. Let me give you his number, etc. Can you imagine that type of community? Now, a lot of people do this whole thing about, you know, let's keep the black dollar in the black community. And I hear you all. But the fact of the matter is, to have an all black community is almost like, the only all black communities that I know, honestly, are hood places. Everywhere I done been outside the hood, it's like a melting pot of people. So you might have some Hispanics over here, you might have some black people over here, you might have some Caucasian people, but it's a melting pot of people that say, you know what, I'm gonna buy me a home, I'm gonna get me a yard, you know what I mean? So it's a melting pot. So just to think that I'm gonna keep my money in a black store, or with a black this and a black, I mean, it sounds great in theory, it sounds great, but that's not how America works. You know, I hear a lot of people that are pro-black, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of those pro-black people been in jail half their life, been thieves half their life. You know what I'm saying? Went from pimps to the pool pit. First lady that was a hoe, now she the first lady of the church. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's odd, and it's hard to take this type of advice from people who you say, like, but they're telling you not to listen to nobody else, that they are the way to salvation, or what they say matters. See that a lot of that happening on social media as well. You know, their way, you know, when they start talking about real men, this is what a real man is. Is it? This is what a real woman is. Is it? And how does that work for you guys? Does it work for you guys? Ladies and gentlemen, think for yourself. Don't let a motherfucker tell you how to think, why to think, when to think, where to think. Think for yourself. Sit down, right? Listen to a video, open up your eyes, open up your ears, and sit back and relax. Don't sit back to question. Sit back and relax. Let me just hear what this person has to say. And if it resonates with you, share the message. Hit the like button, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to make sure you stay connected, because that's what the problem is. We're not connecting ourselves to positive things. We're not connecting ourselves to good people. What we're doing is we're saying, well, okay, well, he got 15,000 subscribers, but he got 600,000 subscribers. Oh, she got 300 subscribers. She got 3 million subscribers. Like, we're weighing the message based on subscribers, but that don't mean the message is beneficial to you. That don't mean the message is an asset to you. Stop weighing things on subscribers and views, and start weighing on the content's character, the content's message, and what it does for you, and what it does for your situation. Build, grow, financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, grow. And in order to do that, you have to change the narrative. It is great to address other communities and what they're doing and the activities of those individuals, such as the gay community. But you also have to say, what are we doing in the heterosexual community that is positive? And are we addressing those things accordingly and providing solutions? I want you to look at anybody with over 50,000 subscribers. And I want you to sit back and I want you to look for the videos that address black on black crime, right? Fathers being in the home, investing, right? Financial literacy, that's what I'm saying, right? Positive communication, thinking for yourselves, actually listening to understand, not just to reply. I want you to find those people that are actually doing that. There's not a lot. There's not a lot. I don't need you to tell me you're a man. Show me you're a man. I don't need you to tell me you're a woman. Show me you're a woman. I don't need you to tell me you're grown. Your actions prove that you're grown. right? But if you're taking care of your kids and you're taking care of your responsibility as a man or a woman, you know what that's called? That's called being a fucking adult. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mario J. This is Tough Love. Until next time, adult up. Peace.